What kind of growth have you seen from Nico from year 1, year 2, and entering year 2?
Yeah, I just, the bowl experience for him, I think was a great experience where you feel the pressure of the ownership of having to know that you're going to be the guy. I thought throughout the course of last season he continued to grow in his consistency and how he prepared. He's been urgent in everything that he's done since he got back after the bowl game. He's had a great summer, continuing to build timing and rhythm with our wide receivers, get on the same page before we get into training camp, and obviously excited to see him grow throughout the course of training camp.
Through interactions with your players, reports you got from people, what have you maybe learned about this team over the summer months or since you broke from spring ball? Have you learned anything new about this team?
Well, I think they're extremely focused, and that's individually on where they want to get to as a player, but collectively as a football team. They understand the importance of every single day. You got to go win every rep, every set, every single day. Their feet are where they're at. They're in the moment, and we got to continue to do that as we go into our next phase of preparation for the season when we get to training camp.
Josh, what about health status? Cam Selden, Peyton Lewis, those guys in the spring?
Yeah, both of those guys are doing extremely well. Peyton is fully integrated into everything that we're doing. Cam's really close to that. He'll have a growth progression as we get into training camp. But excited to have both of those guys continue along that line and be ready for kickoff when we get to the season.
You mentioned Nico being the guy, obviously. What has he shown you in terms of being ready for that responsibility?
Smart, competitive, skill set, accurate with the football, good decision maker. His work habits, for a guy throughout the recruiting process to come into our building, earn the trust and respect of the teammates around him, to grow as a player, to continue to grow in his ability to lead. I love what he's done as a young player. He is a young player. There's going to be a growth and an evolution and progress throughout the course of the season with him as a player. Excited to see him compete and go do that during the course of the season.
Josh, he has such a business-like demeanor to him, kind of flat line. How much does that fit what you guys like from a QB in your offense?
Well, I think it is important for your quarterback, just like your players, just like the rest of your roster, but your coaches, to never get too high, never get too low, to continue to focus on what's coming next, be in the moment. He's extremely confident. He's that way because he puts in the work. He's a great teammate. He's becoming a great leader. I'm excited to have him inside of the building, leading the offense, and go kick off in 24.
Your defense has made strides kind of every year. What's kind of this next evolution that you want to see from them this fall?
Yeah, you go back to 21, our first year here. You look at what we were dealing with. Coach Banks, our defensive staff have done an unbelievable job from 21 up until where we are now of continually growing. And a lot of that's been the development of our roster, some of the limitations that we had when we first got there to where we are currently, understanding of our scheme, the fundamentals within it. You look statistically at us, yards per play, tackles for loss, turnovers, we're top 1, 2, 3 in the league, and there's another step for us. This group that we have on the defensive side of the ball, length, athleticism, speed, it's the most athletic we've been, on all 3 levels of the defense. So excited to see their growth as we get into training camp.
Josh, what are the challenges of a freshman quarterback leading a veteran team? What are some of the innate challenges?
Yeah, our roster is unique. You look at our line of scrimmage, we have a lot of experience on both sides of the football. We have some youth from the time that we got back in January. I've challenged our entire team, but our veterans in particular. As we go into this year, we don't have time for any of our young guys to be young. And so that urgency has to come from everybody. Starts with me, but it's also got to be inside of our locker room. For us this year with Nico, as a young player, I've gotten a lot of questions like, him as a leader. right? Well, he does. He's phenomenal in communication in one-on-one situations, small groups. He's taking more and more ownership within our entire offense and within our football team. But the first thing you got to do is master your position, and he's continued to grow in that, and his understanding of what we do, defensive structures, being able to control the game. For him, the most important thing is to be himself, be consistent in his work habits and his preparation every day, and be in the moment, and you know, not get too high, not get too low, just be present.
How much can you accelerate his leadership position in an off season like this?
Yeah, every young quarterback that I've had, and I've started a lot of freshman quarterbacks in my career, the mastering of the position, the ownership of it,
Okay.
getting to game day, playing, and the growth in the leadership when those things happen. It's all part of the evolution of it. He's been phenomenal inside of our room, inside of our building, in his habits, his growth as a player, but also his communication and leading his teammates. So I'm excited about where he's at and where we see him going.
Josh, the 3 players you brought with you, obviously, you know, veteran, great leaders on your team. What went into deciding those guys? Because you had other guys that would have done a good job too.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of guys that would have done a great job. We have a lot of guys that are deserving of being here, and I think that speaks to the culture that we have inside of our building, what we've built over the last 3 years. These 3 guys are great representatives of, you know, our football program, our athletic department, and our university. They do it the right way. They're 3 guys that had an opportunity to leave and go into the draft, elected to come back for all the right reasons. They care about the Power T, they care about their teammates. They're great leaders inside of our building. They're part of our leadership council, and you know, that's why these 3 guys are here.
What kind of stepping stone can last season be for where you want this program to get to?
End of the day, the standard at Tennessee is to win championships. We're in a race to get there as fast as we can. We've done a lot of great things in the last 3 years, last season included. Proud of the steps that we've taken, but we got to continue to climb. And at the end of the day, you got to win every single day. And this group's been really intentional in the way that they competed. They got to finish out, you know, our summer the right way, and when we get to training camp, we got to continue to grow.
How do you balance kind of winning that every day versus keeping an eye on saying, hey, we want to win an SEC championship, we want to make the college football playoff?
Yeah, everybody inside of our building understands the expectations, standards, and goals that we have. You know, the expectations are never going to be greater outside of the building than they are inside of it. But to go accomplish those things, it's a minute-by-minute, step-by-step process that you got to unfold and embark upon. And this group's been really consistent in what they've done.
You guys came